Hi, how are you? This is Daniel Risenji, and today we're going to have an international look on the expat agency scam. And this is the photo of the day. It's me with my two passports. I'm not trying to brag here. There's a lot of people with a lot more passports and even better passports, in my opinion. But it's a nice pic, so let's get going. So expat scammers are like people who I believe are not being completely honest online. They'll say things like, Canada is literally terrible. Australia is done. Citizenship taxation is coming literally everywhere in Europe, in Australia, in America, where it already exists. They claim that America is literally a third world country, that Europe is a legacy brand, that it's falling apart, that it's not going to be good anymore, etc., etc., etc. And they claim that rich people know that they see that, and that they're making moves in that direction. But is that true? Well, what they say is maybe those countries are good for the middle class, but not for genius top 1% and digital nomads like you, my friend who are watching the video. Yeah, again, is that true? Not really exactly, because if you look at data, you're going to see the first one on the left, this image on the left, is where people are moving, where millionaires are moving. And you can see that millionaires are going to Australia, to Canada, to the US. Even though, for example, the US already has nearly half the millionaires in the world, it still has a net positive immigration of millionaires. And yes, they are going to Singapore. Yes, they are going to the UAE, but they're also going a lot, by the way, to Southern Europe, for example. So they're going to Greece, to Italy, to Switzerland, to Portugal. And yes, they are leaving the UK, but other than the UK, they're leaving mostly developing countries: China, India, Russia, Brazil, Nigeria, South Africa, just literally every single one of the BRICS is just losing millionaires. And well, there's a lot of reasons for that. Also, more on a broad sense, that's not specifically millionaire trends. The net migration potential of countries, if you rank them, you're going to see that, yes, Singapore is number one. That's true. Singapore is an excellent country, but New Zealand, Switzerland, Australia, Canada, Ireland, they're all extremely popular countries, and when you rank them, you're going to see that they're the countries with the most net migration potential. Now, this one might be on par due to brands, because the way this index works is you just ask people where would they move if they could move anywhere in the world, and then you just take the total number of people who said a specific amount of country, and you divide by the population. So, for example, in Singapore, if everyone who wanted to move to Singapore moved to Singapore, then the population would literally triple. It would increase by 219%, which is a lot. But literally every single other country on the list is in the West. And you have to think, is everyone wrong? Is everyone who's moving to the US, like all the 3,800 millionaires who are moving to the US, are they stupid? The ones who are moving to Canada, are they not seeing anything? Yeah, pretty much what we can boast from it is Canada and Australia, they're still extremely popular. The US is still positive, despite already having 50% of all the millionaires. The UK, it's really, really negative. It is slightly distorted because, well, they finished their non-dom program, so there was bound to be a rebound by that, but still, it's very problematic. Southern Europe is extremely positive, and just big developing countries are clearly the main losers. So why do they lie? Why do scammers make you feel like your country sucks and like everyone's leaving, even though it's not true? Well, first of all, they can't sell change without making you unhappy first. So if you're sitting watching the video on your laptop in Canada and you're perfectly happy with your life, it's going to be hard to sell you something. It's going to be hard to sell you change. So they need you to think that you live in hell so they can sell you heaven. And you might not live in heaven, that's for sure. I'm not saying Canada, the US, Australia, any country like that is heaven, but you're definitely not living in hell. That's the main point of this video. They have to appeal to Western audiences, because obviously you could sell to Russian oligarchs or to Chinese entrepreneurs or whatever, but the thing is, so many more of the world millionaires are in the West. Literally 50% of every millionaire in the world is American, like half is American, half is literally everything else. And obviously countries like Australia, Switzerland, the Netherlands, they have a lot of millionaires as well, Canada too. And so I think if you're going to sell services to millionaires, you might as well, and you want to sell them change, you need to make them feel like they have a bad deal. and you make them feel like they have a bad deal by criticizing their countries. And mostly their countries are Australia, the US, Sweden, Canada, because those are the countries where people mostly have gotten rich throughout the last 100 years. And so it would be hard to have a business if you're only criticizing countries that people are actually leaving. You want to criticize countries where there's a lot of millionaires, there's a lot of wealth, because then those citizens can actually come and buy your service. Again, another reason why they lie, they have to show that they're better off abroad. So if you see most of the quality of life indexes, just in general, you're going to see Canada, Australia, I don't know, Vienna on top. And people who don't live in those places, who moved and who are selling you a move, they have to show or to pretend that they're better off abroad. And even if they're honest, because plenty of those people are honest, I'm not accusing any particular person. Even if they're honest marketers, they're still going to focus on the good side. They're still going to exaggerate, and that's just a natural part of life. There's also hidden disadvantages unseen by a Western expat, because if you're a Western expat, sure, you left your country, but there's so many things that you bring from your country with you, your money, in a strong currency, your connections and your networking with other people who also earn in a strong currency, your passport, your education, they're all brought from where you came. And well, if you're just from one of those countries that you're moving to, if you're from Thailand, if you're from Vietnam, if you're from Malaysia, most of those things, you don't have that. And so you might think that you're free from the West, but you actually benefit from being Western every single day of your life, and you don't even realize it. And as you do that, you're trashing the West. So that is at least somewhat problematic to me. So if I was going to wrap it up, I would say that your country is still probably pretty good if you're watching this video, if you're from the West, if you're from Europe, Southern Europe, Northern Europe, the English here in general. Even though it got worse, and even though it's probably not the best at everything, your country is still probably pretty good. And diversification is good. I'm all for it, and you can move if you want, but it won't solve all your problems. Believe me, I've been moving for so long. It solves some problems. It doesn't solve a lot of them. The whole world got worse. This is so important. Like, in the last 10 years, the whole world has gotten worse. And you talk to people, and they, except for maybe one hub or two, they definitely feel like they're behind compared to 10 years ago, let's say. And not just where you live. And it's also important to recognize that going abroad is a privilege tied to where you're from. Believe me, you would not be dreaming of going abroad if you're born in Nigeria or something like that. You couldn't even move, you know, that's what I'm saying. It's just a viable dream for you where you can easily move abroad and things are cheaper and all that because you're from the West. And you will never fix your problems by just running away. So be careful. Don't trust everything you see online. Understand that if you're in Canada, in Australia, in America, in Europe, there's a lot of privilege tied to your situation. Your country's probably still pretty good. Even moving abroad, you might not immediately see some of the downsides, so be careful. But yeah, where would you want to move? If you could move anywhere in the world, let me know in the comments below.